today to make them feel proud.
Yeah! See, it's a good idea.
It is. I'm Betty Ball.
And I'm Stevie B.
He's a Malcolm.
She's from South Shields.
And this is...
Speak Up Sunderland.
Woo! To be fair, kid, you look like you lost some weight. That new job's doing well.
Is that a compliment?
Yes. Take it
You've
while
actually
you've
got
got
a
it.
straight face when you say that
It
as well.
is. Just take it while you've got it. So before getting today's episode, I've got to say a big thank you to everyone who has been to our 3 Speak Up Sunderland lives already. You guys have been legendary, and every single time we have learned something new about Sunderland.
Well, I would actually like to thank not only everyone that's turned up, but how vocal everybody was. Everybody had an opinion. Everybody spoke to each other. I mean, Jay literally had to race backwards and forwards with the microphone to catch everybody. It was that enthusiastic.
It's got that bad, you have to stick your hand up like at school.
Yes, you do.
So make sure we get your voices.
So speaking of the next new one, when is the next?
It is April the 17th, 7 o'clock at the Peacock as usual. Mine's a gin and his is whatever you can drink.
Mine's whatever's the cheapest.
Yeah. However, the first one, we had a very special guest, didn't we?
We did. So I'd like to invite our final guest, please. If you put your hands together for James Barker. James, do you want to tell everybody a bit more about who you are?
Okay, so I'm James and I am a freelance journalist and I study at the University of Sunderland doing an MA, my Master's in radio. I have had a varied career in various different things.
Elaborate.
I was a cop for 10 years.
Were you?
Is this the first time that you've met me?
Like this, yeah?
Okay, then, fair enough. I was a police officer for 10 years in North Yorkshire and I did various different things whilst in my career. But one thing led to another and it meant that I decided to go back to university, and because I'm still nosy, I decided to become a journalist. So I studied to do my journalism degree and I got a first. Woo. And ended up coming to Sunderland. And for somebody that's from Teesside who had grown up being told that Sunderland was not the best place to live, there was loads of jokes about it, and I was always told, you never go there. And to be fair, up until about maybe 2 years ago, I hadn't actually been to Sunderland. We moved about 6 months ago, and do you know what? I wish that I'd made this move a lot earlier, because for a city, it's got such a tight-knit community feel to it. It feels like a town where everybody knows everybody, but it's still a city, and you've got all the transport links and everything like that, and you've got the businesses, and it just feels really, really good. And this is why I thought about doing this next project, which will tie in with you guys.
Very much so.
Do you like how I linked it all?
Nice.
Ah, you can tell you do
You
this.
should go into journalism,
Do you know what I should do? I should maybe go on the radio or something.
You should. Yeah.
Hello.
That sounds creepy as anything.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there, love.
In the studio, we have none other than James Barker.
Hello.
Barker.
How you all doing? You're all right?
Well, I'm chonking, he thin.
You're chonking.
He chonking.
I'm not chunking anything, thank you very much.
Well,
Anyway, hello.
Hi.
How are you? Yes. So, yes, I came along to the first Speak Up Sunderland and announced the Stars of Sunderland, a little project that we're doing where we basically shine a spotlight on individuals within the community of Sunderland to actually highlight the great work that individuals do, sometimes selflessly, and basically just say a big thank you to them all.
so you literally gather the good eggs.
I do. I gather the good eggs and I polish them off and I display them like Fabergés for your amusement.
You are really spoiling us.
I get the Ferrero Rocher out. It's about the community and it's about throwing the spotlight on an individual or a group of people who do something in their community within Sunderland. And it can be nominated by members of the public. It can be nominated by people who say, do you know what? This teacher has been a teacher for 50 years in their community and has given so much. Or it could be somebody that has seen that there's problems on the streets with homelessness, and every Saturday night they're out there making sandwiches and giving out warm blankets to people. It can just be about Somebody or some people who actually do something in the community that's worthwhile and highlights a problem and fixes it. And it's about shining the spotlight on those people and basically celebrating them.
James, do we have a lot of good eggs in Sunderland?
Do you know what? There are so many good eggs in Sunderland. I don't think I can say eggs anymore.
There's so much protein.
There's massive amount of them. No, there's so many great people of Sunderland, and I just hope that showing the stars of Sunderland that it does make Mackems proud of their area and make them really just jump up and go, do you know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that and helping here and being who you are. And I think they just all need to be put on a pedestal for
Put in a cup.
Put in like an egg cup.
Put the egg in a cup.
Put it in a cup.
No more eggs, please.
So literally, you are finding the people that do great things that normally don't get the recognition they deserve. So it could be like a lollipop lady, a teacher, a next door neighbour that's helping everyone around the street, somebody who generally does something with worth and value that normally doesn't get the recognition.
That's exactly it.
You should be Sunderland star, Kate.
Say again, sorry?
Kate
Yeah,
Townsend. She's just left, actually.
Yeah.
She's just
Kate,
gone.
she's absolutely astonishing. She did not give herself enough credit for what she does. She is absolutely amazing. I've been to the food bank, and if you want to go down, it's on Coronation Street. You'll never forget that. It is actually on Coronation Street. I thought she was joking when she told us it first. But you should honestly go down and have a look. It is huge, and she wasn't lying when she said she's been running it all pretty much by herself. She is one of those people that I'm going to actually nominate now. Her.
Well, can we have a show of hands? Who thinks that Kate, who runs the food bank, should be a Sunderland star for the first ever one? I think it's unanimous, really.
Glad she's not here. She wins.
That's it. Now that she's not here and she can't disagree with it.
Oh, I'm reminiscing. It seems like so long ago since we actually did that.
I know. Time's passing so quickly, and it's our next live event is April the 17th, which is also going to be at the Peacock.
Barker, how does it make you feel?
She was just such a lovely person to interview, and actually spend some time down at the food bank as well, and having a walk around and seeing the volunteers and seeing the racks of shelving.
Isn't it like Costco?
It's
huge.
amazing, but do you know what? There are some gaps there that still need to be filled. So I think people still need to be donating to the food banks and getting involved with them. And I'm sure that any kind of donation will be welcomed by them.
To be fair, I think the last time I went, they wanted custard. Something else as well.
They're always asking for tea and coffee as well. Anything.
Yeah.
That's normal.
So it's not just food that people get from food banks. You've got racks of kitchen foil and household cleaning products for people to actually help them out as well.
Yes. I don't know what to add, sorry.
No, it's fine. We love our little city, the people, the culture and everything about the place. We want to shout it from the rooftops to let everyone know about some of the great things the people are doing within their city and what makes them Mackem proud and a star of Sunderland. Kate Townsend is one of those people. She's a coordinator for Sunderland Food Banks. She isn't from Sunderland originally, but this is where she now calls home. I wanted to know what drives a person to go into a career of helping so many people, but I'll let her explain that.
So I'm originally from Kirkby in Ashfield, which is a small town just north of Nottingham. And I grew up there till I was 18. From a very young age, I knew that I wanted to do something to fight the injustices that I saw around me. I think I was probably 9 or 10 when I was talking with my mum and just said, it's so unfair that some people are born into a situation that's not right. So I think from a very young age, I wanted to do something to give back and to sort of try and rebalance the scales of injustice, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that that's what I do now, but I knew from a young age that I wouldn't be doing the same as other people, I would say.
So what does she do in the role as coordinator of a food bank?
What we came in to do was, it came after 5 years of conversation between the different food banks in the city and the council and Sunderland Connect network. And it was seen that there are lots of food banks they're all independent. They don't really talk to each other. There's no centralised referral system and there's no central stock. So it meant that food banks would run out of food and then they'd go and spend loads of money stocking up their cupboards. It would mean that a referral agency would have to have 3 different phone numbers or vouchers to get into the food banks, and it was just quite disorganised. But the need for food was increasing. So we were seeing the food banks were getting busier and busier, but there was no sort of central coordination of them. So we came in not to replace those food banks. Instead, we work with them. So the first 6 months, I was just going out, visiting the different food projects across the city, working out what they did and how we could help them. So really what we do is we're a support agency, a support network for the food banks. So we work with 11 across the city, and we give them food, we give them resources, training. We've introduced a centralised referral system. It just means that, you know, we've got something like 70 referral agencies who refer through us, and it means that they can go to any of the food banks across the city. There was the need for a bit of coordination because there are food banks and they do a wonderful job, and those volunteers who run the food banks are incredible. I take my hat off to them because I see what they do and it really humbles me. And yeah, if we can support them in any way we can, then that's what we do.
It seems that without her, many food banks would go without. But do you have to be in desperate need of their services? And is it just food parcels that they give out to the people of Sunderland?
Generally, anyone is able to access the food bank. There's no eligibility. There's no criteria that you have to fulfill. Anyone can turn up at a food bank who is in crisis, who doesn't have anything, or maybe has something but not much, and say, I really need some help. And at the food banks, we really want to offer more than just food. So yes, we can give out a food parcel, but we can also be a listening ear. We can give a warm welcome. We can make a cup of tea and say, what's going on? How can we help you? Can we signpost you to another agency? So that's one way. People just walk into a food bank and they can access it that way. The other way is that we work with 70 referral agencies. So that's professional agencies who work on the front line with clients. For example, the Citizens Advice Bureau, the job centres, the council's crisis support teams, Sharp, Fiscus, you name it. Anyone that works on the front line with people, they will normally be a referrer into the food bank. We've got doctors, schools, debt advice centres, and they register with us. They then have our vouchers, and then they give their vouchers to a client. They say, oh, there's a need for food there. Give this voucher to a client, and then the client can take it to a food bank.
I popped down to the food bank, which is in the east end of the city. I was shocked at the scale of the operation and just had to have a walk around the place. So again, how long have you been in this warehouse now?
So we first started in this warehouse in November 2017, so a year and a couple of months.
And it's gone through, as you've said, a lot of transformations. Is this its final form, or do you think you've outgrown this area?
I don't think it's its final form, but I don't think we'll be moving anytime soon. So we'd quite like to have more shelving, more storage space. As you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff stored on the floor at the minute, and we want to get that ideally onto shelves.
So if any businesses are getting rid of any racks and shelving and things like that, point them in your direction.
Yes, please. That would be great.
Can we have a little walk?
Yeah.
So how long has it actually taken to actually get to this level of organisation?
So we started last November, and these shelves have been here since May, I think. It took us 2 weeks to get the shelves up, because you can see they're quite big. And then everything else probably took another month. So in all, 6 or 7 months to get to this kind of organisation. And there is still a lot that we could do. There's a lot of improvements. I look around here and see everything I could do better rather than everything that looks good.
I'm just going to have a look on the shelves.
Okay.
So down this particular aisle, we've got the orange zone, and it says we've got milk, cleaning products, meat, pasta, baby items, and pet food. That's a hell of a combination.
Yeah, that's what we get. We try and put together parcels for people that they might need anything. If you can't afford food, then you might not be able to afford cleaning products, wash, fairy liquid or a blue cloth or shampoo, sanitary items, etc., pet food. So we take anything and we give out anything that we get in, we will try and get rid of. Yeah.
When deliveries come in, how are they actually arranged and sorted and things like this?
So deliveries come in and they come into our loading bay, which is where we weigh them. Then we have volunteers come in who take those bags of donations that people have brought and they sort them out by category and by date. So we try and get rid of the food in a timely fashion so that it doesn't go out of date. We want to be good stewards of what we have. We sort it by date and by category, and then it gets put on the shelves. And then a food bank will get in touch with us and they'll put in an order form and say, we're short of rice pudding and tomatoes and sugar. Can we have some? And the volunteers will put that order together. It's a bit like supermarket sweep. They'll go down the shelves and load up their trolleys, and then we weigh that out again, and then we send that out to the food banks.
So I'm going to go and speak to some of the people that are here. So are these from Sunderland University?
Yes, so we have a good relationship with Rebecca, who is the volunteer coordinator for the Students' Union, and so she brings down teams of volunteers from the Students' Union from Sunderland University.
Can you describe to us exactly what you guys are all doing at the moment?
Yeah, so we're just basically we're dating and then sorting each item of food into the right category, into the box which that'll sit in and then be packed up, and just basically order in the warehouse ready for collection boxes to be made.
And is this a regular thing that you guys get up to?
At the moment, we're taking the students once a month, and then from that we're getting regular volunteers hopeful to participate a bit more kind of frequently.
And how important do you think it is for food banks in working in the community to help people who are struggling?
I think it's extremely important, and I think you can just see, every student that comes in here and sees the scale of the warehouse and how much food is in here, that everyone's always has that shocked surprise, and I think that kind of it then encourages the students to want to kind of come and help as well.
It was an impressive sight to see so much help given out to the people of Sunderland, all under one roof. Kate keeps a well-oiled machine, but I wondered what she felt was going to happen in the next couple of months, especially after the B word.
Sadly, and with a heavy heart, I personally believe that after Brexit, food banks' use will rocket. We really don't know what's going to happen with the economy. We don't really know what's going to happen with trade. At the current situation with Brexit, it looks like it is going to hit us, and I think the food bank use will increase with Brexit. I think in the northeast, we might actually be quite resilient. There isn't actually that much trade left here. We've got Nissan and a few, there are some companies up here, but I would say most of the economic wealth is in the south. So I would say maybe we won't see as much change as down south will. However, the northeast does receive a lot of EU funding. What's going to happen when we don't have that anymore? I would love to see us not need to use food banks anymore. And how do we get there? I think we need to see a government which supports the people. And we all want that. We've wanted that since the beginning of time, but a government which favours those who have nothing. I think better coordination between support networks. So if that looks like working with the police or with drug and alcohol services or with the council to create a net that nobody can fall through to get to the state that they're in. I mean, it's part of my job is making the food banks sustainable and efficient and work together, but also trying not to let them exist anymore. So I'm constantly trying to put myself out of a job whilst making the food banks do what they do better. So it's this really weird paradox. I've seen an increase in people needing to use the food banks. I think the evidence for that lies in that we've opened 4 new food banks in sort of geographical black spots where there weren't any food banks before, but also just the sheer numbers. It is going up. On our stats, we've fed 3,500 people last year, and I think with the other food banks, as well in the area. It's well over 5,000 people in the city accessing food banks. And I think, sadly, with universal credit and the benefit system, we're just going to see that increasing more and more.
Here at Speak Up Sunderland, we want to give a massive thank you to Kate Townsend and all the volunteers and workers who ensure that no family needs to go hungry in the city of Sunderland. You are a star of Sunderland and deserve all the recognition that you receive.
So how do you get involved in this? So if people listening, they know somebody they would like to nominate. How do they do that?
What they can do is they can either come along to the live events and speak to everyone there, but also get in contact on the social media platforms.
Speak Up Sunderland as well.
Absolutely. And the new website.
Oh, it's marvellous.
Absolutely.
The new website is speakupsunderland.com, and it's fabulous.
It's very shiny and new.
It's shiny and new and professional.
It literally is www.speakupsunderland.com. There's a picture of my beautiful face and
yes, I'm sorry about that.
And Stevie's beacon of light, aka his top
the top of my head, which is shining in the sun, and
click the lovely green button at the front,
yes,
and then
to enter
voila,
the site.
It is all there for you.
And all the episodes that we've done from the first one is there, so you can listen to any one that we've done. And the fast becoming really popular. Everybody's talking about it. And if you can, and if you do go on, could you do us a big favour as well? Can you leave a review? Leave a review of what you've seen, what you've heard, what you think, what you'd like.
How you been on, James?
I have, because I wanted to see my ugly mug on there.
How does it feel? Does it make him feel proud?
It does feel like that, when you get the new fridge and you peel off that little bit of plastic. Oh. It's like that. It's all very shiny and new. It's beautiful.
Lovely. That's such a good feeling.
She's thinking of fridges. I don't know what it is.
I know.
I'm not.
Magnets
I'm
as
not.
well.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about on that.
The satisfaction of peeling the
No
plastic.
Big Bang Theory when you've got Howard and you've got Rajesh and they get the iPhone and they peel it off for the first time and they're like, oh.
Very nice. Well, yes, if anyone wants to nominate another person for Stars of Sunderland, they can do, again, on the social media. Head over to the website, speakupsunderland.com, and they can nominate the people.
So if you click contact us, you can be able to write it in the comments box. Is that what you
Absolutely. Send us a message and let us know who the person is and why you think that they should be the Stars of Sunderland.
Right. Oh, I'm excited.
Do you know what it is? I think we could be inundated.
Hopefully.
I think we'll be inundated because there's so many people that deserve just to be recognised and to be told thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you do for free maybe as well.
But just remember, if you're thinking about nominating somebody, just do it, because you never know, that could generally change that person's life. Shy Ben's getting out, please.
Can I also just mention one thing as well? Something that's... Don't shrug your shoulders before I've said it.
Oh, I just know what you're going to say.
Well, tough. Was it you said to me? Suck it in.
Suck it in.
Suck it in. Sunderland are going to be playing at Wembley. They're in the final in 2 days' time. It's really exciting. It's the second time we've been... Shut up! It's the second time we've been to Wembley in 6 years, I think.
It's been that long.
If you're talking about Newcastle, it's 1969 since Newcastle were last there. So put down your pipe and smoke it.
Oh, whatever.
And we've got a really good chance. It's one of the low competitions. We're playing Portsmouth, and it will be amazing for the city, in all seriousness, if we win that, because it will be good for business, it will be good for the city, it will be good for the city to get some really good news, and I think everybody would celebrate as well. So let's fingers crossed that we win.
Sunderland's going to be absolutely buzzing on Sunday.
There will be.
Everything's just going to go
bar.
Can I ask though, predictions for Sunday? What's the score?
I think we'll win. I really do think we'll win. It's the best chance we're going to get to win a cup.
By what?
2-1.
2-1. What about you?
She's got no idea.
Go on, Betty.
I'm going to be very positive and go behind Sunderland, because Speak Up Sunderland is to be about Sunderland. So I think we're going to win. I'm not going to say what prediction, because I'm just behind them.
That was so on the fence. You're sitting right on the top of it, aren't you?
I'm just Miss Positive.
So we're going to see next week, aren't we?
Yes.
Excellent.
So this is happening the last Friday of each month.
It is, yes. And we've got next month's all sorted. Shall I say who it is?
No, don't do it.
Shall we keep them with suspense?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Give them a little bit.
Give me a taster.
It involves a bridge.
Oh, which one? We've got so many in Sunderland.
Well, there you go. You're going to have to wait till next month to actually find out.
Oh, you little tease.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Is it the man who painted it?
Oh,
Could be.
he's probably Deed Gerrard out.
Do you know the Transporter Bridge back in Teesside? Because you know, by the way, I'm from Teesside.
sorry about
They start painting it all the way across, and by the time they finish, they have to turn around and paint it the other way, a different colour, because it takes that long to actually do it.
Is that because
They're
just
constantly
painted it
painting.
the wrong colour?
Yeah, they do. Why, man?
It's been a pleasure, humans.
A pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
That's it.
I'm keeping it cool with the kids. It's been a pleasure.
James, thanks for coming in.
No, thank you, Steve. That's been great. Thank you.
Well, he survived.
I know.
Only
It's true.
I've been told not to feed the animals
So
or
much
look
protein.
directly at Betty in her eyes.
Because I will
Yes.
bite.
Yeah, because she is a big animal.
Right, get off.
Has she had her shots yet?
Behave.
No, she's due though. Oh, I bet I'll take you for your shots. Come on.
You know what it is, right? There's a